Some people will try just about anything when it comes to their health, no matter how bizarre or crazy it may seem. But some alternative therapies can put your health at serious risk. So today, I'm revealing which ones can help and which ones are just hype. The first extreme alternative therapy is for pain management. It's called cryogenic chamber therapy. Now, cryotherapy is the application of cold temperatures to all parts of our body. And it's something we've used for a long time, right? Many of you may have tried this high-tech version, right? An ice pack. But imagine if you could grow it. Right over here is a cryo sauna. It's got liquid nitrogen that's released into the chamber to cool down the body and reduce the inflammation and the pain. So, audience, what do you think? Does it help, or is it just hype? Get out your answer. Oh, they are split. They are split. All right. The answer, it helps. These new expanded forms of cold therapy can be very helpful for folks who have debilitating pain and inflammation. And let me show you why. Here's an animation of what happens when you have pain and why cooling it makes a difference. So let's say you're exercising and you sprain your knee. Right? You've got aches and pains inside of that knee, and what ends up happening when you have a eroded surface is the blood vessels over the painful limb begin to swell. And as those vessels swell a little bit, they'll release chemicals, and the tissue underneath next to it get influenced by these white blood cells that sneak across and release chemicals that cause inflammation, irritation, and almost a scratchy feeling. Now, that swelling can be addressed if you cool the joint. When you cool the joint, you shrink the blood vessels. And by shrinking the blood vessels, when they get smaller, it's harder for the white blood cells to escape. You have less swelling, therefore, the tissue around it, less chemicals released into the joint space, and less aches and pains overall. It also affects the nerves. Because when the nerves get cold, they stop sensing pain, and that influences, of course, the way your body will sense whatever's going on down there. So I'm going to try this out. Debbie's here to help. How are you, Debbie? Thank you very much for being with us. So, now, I'm told that you've actually tried cryogenic therapy before.
Yes, I've done it 4 times.
4 times?
Yes.
So I want you to get in, if you don't mind, the cryo sauna. And we're going to try this out. Debbie's agreed to do it for us on their stage for the first time. We're going to see if it makes sense. So the door's open like this, I guess. There it goes. Okay. Now, normally, you only wear your socks in here. But because this is a nationally televised program, I'm going to grab, without looking at her gown. There she is. Da-da-da. There we are. And we got it there. Perfect. All right, now, the treatment takes... Oh, here we are. Treatment takes about 2.5 minutes. But I, of course, want to see Debbie's head before I start. So I'm going to lift her up. I'm starting it up now. There's I see hands. It's a start. I see hands. There she is. You get scared in there?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I was
so
the first
what
time.
this device does is it rapidly pushes out. Good enough? Okay. So it rapidly pushes out a cold gas. And while Debbie's in the cryo sauna, I'm going to move on, but we're going to come back again. It takes 2.5 minutes. You're going to keep your hands up like that?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone ready?
Yep.
Oh, I can see the gas coming out. It's chilly in there, I bet.
It gets really cold. It's cold like if you went out in the snow naked.
All right, so that's the metaphor, out in the snow naked. Let's move on to our second extreme alternative therapy. I get this question all the time.
Dr. Oz, a couple of my friends have gotten colonics. They say they feel better, they've lost some weight, and even their skin seems to be a lot better. Sometimes I feel a little irregular, so I'd like to know, is a colonics good for my health or is it bad?
So the second extreme alternative therapy is called colon hydrotherapy. It's also known as a colonic. Thank you for asking your question, Celeste. Okay. Now, let me walk you through what a colonic is. And I want to be clear on this, that we're going to then decide if we think it's hype or helpful. All right. So when you have a colonic, typically, you use it for regularity issues. People use it for detoxification. Weight loss is a very common reason that people use these things. So you have a device like this. A machine will pump water in. So you can be the machine. You fill this up with water. But they have machines, again, that do this. And then once this is inside your bottom, this part, the leading edge, gets pulled back. The water goes rushing through here. It fills your colon. And as the therapist does that, your therapist will massage your stomach. That moves the fluids through the intestinal tract. And again, because of that, you theoretically will wash out the waste material that's in there. And you hook up a tube quickly without spilling anything, because it gets messy otherwise. And then this will drain out from inside of you. So does that all make sense? All right. So audience, do you think it's helpful or is it just hype? Yell it out. We have picked good topics. They're not sure. What do you think?
I say it's helpful.
You think it's helpful?
Yes.
All right. The correct answer is that it's hype.
Told you.
Told you. Way to stand your ground, woman.
That's right.
So the reason that colonics are just hype is because your digestive system naturally eliminates the stuff that's in there if you're eating the right food. And the bacteria that are in there don't need any help coming out. Now let me bring this alive to you. Come on over here. So you want to be the good bacteria or the bad bacteria?
Good.
Okay, you're the good red bacteria. This is your colon. This little box here is the colon. The fluid in there is the material that you've eaten, the water, etc., that gets digested. So go ahead and mix the good bacteria in there. So you've got all that good bacteria in there, but you also have bad bacteria. That's the black stuff. So it all goes in there together. Now, unfortunately, when you get a colonic, it is sort of like putting a vacuum in there. And it doesn't just take out the bad guys. And without thinking about it, everything's gone. Good guys, bad guys, everyone in between. In addition, there are some side effects. There's dehydration, theoretically. There's vomiting. And then this device, although when done, carefully, is relatively safe, you can imagine this being pushed into the side of the intestinal tract and making a hole there or infecting your insides because of that. All right, so let's give you a lot of information about colonics. Is it worthwhile for you, if you think?
I wouldn't be doing it. No.
Good. I made some progress.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting you.
Let's go back and talk a little bit about what's going on with Debbie. All right, let's cover her up. Ta-da! There we are.
I don't know if I can get down.
Oh, it didn't put you down. There we are. She's disappearing. Coming back down. How do you feel, Debbie?
I feel great.
She's still with us. I'm glad about that. All right, let's just see. There we are.
Thank you.
That's good.
I feel really good.
It's not too cold.
No,
It must be a little cold when you get in there.
it's really cold for a couple minutes. And when you come out, when it's